Hey you guys, we are back with another video. And the topic for this one that I wanted to talk about is channeling energy. This was a topic that just popped into my mind, and it's very relevant to what is currently going on in my life, as well as from what I've heard from many of you, your lives as well. And so I was very inspired to make this video to give you guys some clarity on what exactly you can do to help yourself channel energy in your life and direct it towards the places you want to go. So let's start with why this is important. Recently, I was live streaming. I've begun live streaming on my channel, and some of you were kind enough to pop in and just let me know how things are going. And we had some very good conversations. One of you was speaking about how they felt as though the world around them was crumbling. They felt kind of lost. They felt as though their past actions are coming back now to haunt them. And they weren't really sure what to do with their life as they're transitioning through this period. And so my response to this person was that there is something called ascension theory, which is how at this period in time, the planets are starting to align in a way that is affecting all the beings that are currently here on Earth. It has to do with astrology. And as you know, planetary bodies have a very strong gravitational pull. This is why you and I right now are firmly rooted to the planet Earth because of this gravitational pull. What we don't realize is that Earth is not the only planet with this gravitational pull. There are other planets throughout our solar system, each and every single one of them exerting their own gravitational pull on the objects that surround them. This means that the planets that are neighboring ours, planet Earth, because they're aligning in a certain way, they're getting closer to Earth and they're getting further from Earth. And this occurs in a cycle. Certain planets will be closer to ours, certain planets will be further from ours. The closest planetary body to our planet right now is the moon. As you know, the moon operates in a cycle. Every 2 weeks, we have what is known as a full moon. This is when, this is a period of time when the moon is closest to the Earth. And as a result of its close proximity to our planet, its gravitational pull begins to affect everything that is on our planet. This is the reason why our oceans have waves. The moon, because of how it moves, exerts its gravitational pull on our planet, and as a result, it moves the oceans and creates waves. This is why we have things like low tide and high tide. It is a constant cycle, an ebb and flow, where the water levels peak and then they flow back down. And then they peak again, and then they flow back down. And this continues in a cycle, as you may know. So how does this relate to you as a human being? As you may know, the human body consists of a large amount of water. I believe this percentile is 70 or 80%. I believe it's around 80%. So this means that if the moon's gravitational pull is able to affect such large bodies of water, such as the ocean, what do you think it's going to do to your tiny, frail human body that is not even a percent of the size of an ocean? This is why, during certain periods of the month and in your life, you may feel as though things are being stirred up. It is because of the moon's influence in the way that it moves water, it moves the energy inside of your body as well. And so you can't help but feel kind of turbulent. You are like the ocean, making waves. Sometimes you're at a high, and sometimes you're at a low. This is why learning how to channel your energy is very important during these periods of time. During certain periods of the month, as you know, the moon is very close to us. And as a result, it creates waves. This is why, if you go outside into, let's say, a busy city, you may notice certain times of the month, people are a lot more aggressive. You will hear a lot more drivers honking their horns, getting into accidents, road rage, things of that nature. And then other times, the drivers will be relatively very peaceful. They will yield to pedestrians, and they will drive below the speed limit. And on other days, they will try to run you over. This is again because the energy that is currently hitting the planet right now is being stirred up. As a result, people that don't know how to control this energy become victims to it. They get into more accidents. They let their emotions take over their behavior. They may act in irrational ways, say things they don't mean, hurt the people around them, and in some cases, sabotage their own success in areas of their life. This is where learning how to channel energy becomes very important. So how do we go about channeling energy in a way that is productive to us and benefits us? Let's start with what happens when we don't channel energy properly. The simplest example of someone who channels energy in an unproductive or negative way is someone who is in the emotional state of anger, fear, anxiety, doubt, or worry. These are all negative emotions that we all have the capacity to feel. So why is it that some people feel these emotions on a more consistent basis than other people, who on the other spectrum may be feeling positive emotions like joy, peace, satisfaction, enlightenment? It is because of their capacity to channel energy and direct it in the way that they want it to go. If it is not channeled properly, the energy will turn against its host and destroy it. If the energy is channeled properly, then everything proceeds in a very smooth and easygoing manner. You can think of energy like electricity. And you can think of your human body, who you are, this human body, as the conduit that is meant to channel that energy. To give you a practical example, let's say a microwave is the host for channeling energy, aka electricity. If the microwave channels this energy properly, then it is able to accomplish tasks such as heating up your food, cooking your food, warming things up. But what happens when this microwave goes out of control? What if its manufacturer states that it should only be able to support up to 240 volts of energy? But then you feed it 500 volts. Chances are the microwave is going to start malfunctioning. Instead of cooking your food, it's going to start to burn it. Instead of heating things up, it's going to set things on fire. So the microwave is not just harming what it is supposed to be doing. It is not just destroying whatever you put into it. It's also destroying itself. Because if the microwave is only manufactured to tolerate a certain amount of energy, but then you overload it, you begin to feed this microwave more energy than it can handle. The circuits inside the microwave are going to start burning themselves out. And if you do this long enough, eventually, the microwave isn't going to work anymore. Some of you may already know where I'm going with this. Since this is a metaphor, let's go back to applying it to real life. If electricity is energy, and the microwave is your human body, then it becomes very simple to realize what happens when you don't control the flow of energy very properly. This is why it manifests itself as negative emotions, such as anger. You are overloading your body with more energy than it can handle. You are trying to maybe get too much done. Or maybe you are trying to get to some place, but you are impatient. And so you try to move faster. You rush the process, but you still want to get to where you want to go. So what you do is you increase the amount of energy that flows through your body. This then allows you to move faster and get to your destination faster. But by doing so, you're also going to burn yourself out. Some people will struggle, and they will try to continue to push the limits of their human body. They will try to channel more energy into their body and direct it towards a certain avenue. But they won't want to be patient about it. They'll try to get to their destination as quickly as possible. And in the process, deal irreparable amounts of self-damage to their human body. So how do you learn to channel energy in a productive way? The first thing to note is that there is always an abundance of energy that is surrounding us. And back to with the way the planets are lining, there is going to only be more and more amounts of this energy coming into our planet now. If you pay attention to scientific research, you'll know that in the past few years, there have been more solar flares than ever before. And for those that don't know, a solar flare is basically when the sun emits a very large amount of energy off its surface. It's almost like a volcano exploding. And this energy then radiates itself. It gives off energy, radioactive energy, that we have the technology to pick up on. And so we're able to sense how much of this energy is entering our atmosphere. Recently, there have been many solar flares, more than ever before. And so the energy levels that are currently on our planet are spiking to all-time highs, exponentially, compared to the values that we had before in the past. Learning to channel energy is going to be more important than ever. Done correctly, it will lead you to the life that you have always wanted to live. You'll be able to make it a reality. That's what the energy is here to help us do. Instead of being used for negative or destructive purposes. We need to learn how to go with the flow of the energy and where it wants to lead us. That's the first step towards learning how to channel energy, is going with the flow instead of trying to force something. I'll give you a very good example. Recently, I've been called to change up the way that I do things on my YouTube channel. Instead of just making videos here as I'm doing now, I've also been called to start doing more live streams where I'm able to talk to you guys in real time. And what I realized was that that was a very productive way for me to basically do Q&As with you guys, where you guys just ask questions and I provide answers and I give you my advice in real time. This is a much more collaborative conversation in the way that we can actually have a conversation with one another instead of feeling as though I'm just talking to you and you don't feel as though I'm just someone on a computer screen that's miles away from where you may be. And at first I was very hesitant towards this. I was nervous. I was afraid how people would see me, how they would judge me. Add to that while I'm on these live streams, I'm usually playing a video game, which basically has nothing to do with my YouTube channel. The game has nothing to do with spirituality, personality types, philosophy. And yet I felt drawn to it, to doing it regardless. And so I took a leap of faith, because that's where all the energy was directing me towards. I was receiving many signs from the universe that were pushing me in that direction. It felt right to me. It felt easy in the sense that it was something that I've always wanted to do. It was a childhood dream of mine to play video games as a career. And now it's a reality. So that's where the energy is currently flowing in my life. The reason it didn't happen earlier is because I was resisting it. I was resisting all these changes because I had a lot of beliefs inside me as to whether or not things would turn out right. This is another topic I'll get into in another video when it comes to how you may be resisting your own hopes and dreams, because everything that you've ever wanted is actually, it already exists. It's just that we resist allowing those things to come into our life because of our own preconceived notions and beliefs. And as a result, we resist the universal flow of energy that is trying to come into our life. And that's where a lot of people start struggling. And they burn themselves out. A good example of this is people that are dependent on coffee to get through their daily day. They're tired, they're sleepy, their body's telling them to rest. But instead of taking a nap, instead of taking a break, they reach for that cup of coffee to energize them and help them focus. Instead of taking a rest, they're simply channeling more energy into their body so that they can get the things that they need to do to get it done. But again, this is just a band-aid to a long-term problem. You can only overload your circuits with energy and go over that manufacturer's limit so many times before your body decides that it's enough and it collapses. This is why when it comes to channeling energy, you need to be conscious of what exactly your body is trying to tell you, as well as the energy around you. If you're feeling tired, probably means that you should be channeling that energy towards rest. If you're feeling worried about a particular issue, it means that you should probably channel your energy towards resolving that issue so that you don't have to worry about it. And if you feel as though your life is crumbling around you, you feel lost and you have no idea what you should be doing, you feel like you're in a situation where you've never been before, and you're confused, you have doubts and you have worries, probably means that that's where the energy is trying to direct you towards right now in your life. Humans are funny creatures. We build up all these defenses and try to maintain control over our lives. And then when all these systems of control come tumbling down, as they all eventually do, if they don't work out, if they're not serving us, when these things come tumbling down, then we try to cling on to them as tightly as we can, trying to resist the flow of energy that is circulating throughout our lives. This is when resistance occurs, and we become our worst enemy. We just need to realize that wherever life is trying to take us toward, that is the best place for us to go. It is the place that will yield the most happiness and joy in all aspects of our life. We just have to trust the universe, that it knows what's best for us, and that it's got everything all planned out. Because you've made it this far in your life, haven't you? You've gotten this far. So why would you have any worries or doubts as to where you will go next? Life is a journey that only goes up. As long as you know where to put your energy, what choices to make, and you believe in yourself, and that the universe has your highest good in mind in every single scenario that you come across, then you can relax and you can enjoy the journey to making your wildest dreams come true. Hope you have a wonderful day. May it be filled with peace and love to all of you. And thank you for tuning in to this video. Go with the flow and don't resist. That's the only way it will take you to places that you've never been. Thank you.